Shavkat Rakhmanov has one big weakness. The undefeated, currently 18-0 fighter has a potential fatal flaw that's been overlooked by all of his previous opponents. What's the biggest weakness, you ask? Shavkat's biggest weakness has a name, and his weakness goes by the name of Sora Rakhmanova. Shavkat's biggest weakness is his younger sister, Sora. Now wait a minute, I have good evidence that this theory could be proven true. You see, there's not much that's known about Shavkat's personal life, but in a recent interview, Shavkat mentioned that growing up in Kazakhstan, he and his sister were practically inseparable. And from what I could gather, it was sort of like the relationship that Masvidal had with Kobe before all that shit went down. They were almost always with each other, and even when Shavkat had to work a job as a truck loader in Kazakhstan when he was 16, which was mainly due to the family's financial insecurity at the time, his sister would frequently meet him during his lunch breaks just to hang out with him, and from what I could gather, they were incredibly close. Now get this, Sora Rakhmanova is also a pro MMA fighter. She debuted in 2021 for the NFC, which is a promotion based in Kazakhstan, and in a 2021 interview, Shavkat was asked for his thoughts on his sister's MMA career. He said that he was initially reluctant to let his sister fight, and on a few occasions tried to convince her otherwise. He cared for her and didn't want to see her get hurt, but after some time, he realized that she would be convinced otherwise, so from then on, he vowed to help her in whatever ways that he could to make sure she had a successful career. And I think this exemplifies what kind of an older brother he is. He seems to be incredibly protective, and he obviously loves his sister. This is what I mean when I talk about his weakness. This is where the crack in the armor starts to show. For those of you that don't understand, get me a 10-liter edible oil because I'm about to cook. You see, it's not beyond some UFC fighters to pursue their opponents' personal lives. And in many instances, it's these types of personal comments that usually get the most emotions out of a rival fighter. And if executed correctly, emotionally attacking a rival fighter can totally dismantle their fight strategy. They're perfect examples of this throughout UFC history. And so far, Shavkat has yet to fight someone who does this kind of trash talk, and I think that it's this kind of opponent that can do the most damage.
I know what some of you guys are thinking. Oh, well, he just faced Stephen Thompson, one of the biggest talkers in the UFC. I still don't think that Stephen was able to go after the things that Shavkat really cared about.
Many people know how unemotional Shavkat is, and even his crying mother couldn't get any type of reaction out of him. But no one is immune to emotional attacks. Everyone has something that gets under their skin. All it would take is someone to slander someone or something that you care about before you start to feel a bit over-emotional. Like, imagine a world where Kobe fights Shavkat. I don't think Kobe would think much is off limits for him when it comes to trying to get under Shavkat's skin or get into his head. It could just take a few obscene comments about Sora to push Shavkat over the edge and put him in an emotional state that he isn't used to.
And once he's in that emotional state, I think that's going to be the weakest point that he's at. I don't think there's much you can do to exploit Shavkat on a physical level, but I think there's plenty you can do on an emotional level. And as I said before, while there's little that's known about his personal life, there's clearly a few things that he's quite vocal that he cares about. And for those UFC fighters that are willing to go after those things, I think they stand the best chance against the undefeated fighter. But I digress. Stay tuned for more half-baked MMA videos.